Hi folks, how are you? It's Yasmin from Tiny Tiny Big Results. I am enjoying a nice cup of coffee because it's freezing here at the moment. As you can see, I'm all bundled up as well, so that's always it's always a sign that I'm feeling cold. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Do you like my mug? You are loved. Okay, so today's mini training is about something that I do a lot of, and it's something that I focus on. And do you know what? To be honest with you, I've probably been progressively getting more woo-woo over the years. I certainly didn't start out my self-employment journey and feeling woo-woo. But as I've been studying law of attraction and manifestations and kind of the spiritual principles around really, your thoughts become things, I'm really on that journey. And I've realized how important it is to raise your vibration on a moment by moment basis. And I apologize if you see me wincing. I did something to my shoulders and neck yesterday, and so now I'm really sore, so hoping to get something done with it. So I'm really sore. Anyway, that's just if you see me wincing, that's the reason why. But what I found is that when people talk about the law of attraction and, they like say, well, I really wanted £1 million or I really wanted €10,000 or whatever it might be. And then they go, well, it didn't happen. It's not about the words that you are using, to say it. Like affirmations can just feel very empty. It's the feeling behind it. It's the vibration, because you could say, I want €10,000, but if you're feeling in any way the lack of not having the €10,000, then it's not going to happen, because it's the vibration that you're emitting. It's a bit like the radio station. If you're tuning into Today FM or whatever radio station you listen to, and you then get a different radio station, you're like, oh, that's not what I wanted. And it works the same way. And so you've got to be thinking about yourself as like that tuning fork. It's like, it's the frequency that you are attracting. And if you are vibrating at a low level frequency, then that's the result that you attract. And if you're resonating at a higher level, then that's the result that you attract. And I know that you might be sitting there thinking, oh, whatever. And, you may be a believer, you may not be a believer. And I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to convince you of whether to be a believer or not. It's entirely what works for you, and this works for me, and this is something that I find is really powerful. So what does that mean then, to raise your vibe? Because maybe you see a lot of people talking about raising my vibration, and maybe you think it's a bit hippy dippy, and I don't blame you if you did, because I know I certainly did as well. But you sit there thinking, well, okay, well, if I want €10,000 and I don't have €10,000, then yeah, I'm going to feel the absence of it. And it's interesting because Abraham Hicks always talk about the fact that if you're continually focusing on the absence of it, then that whole, this flipping shoulder, then that holds it back even more, whereas what you actually need to do is to divert your attention away from the €10,000 and have a sense of detachment about it. This is not to say that you don't take action. You absolutely take action all the time, like as in, little tiny tweaks. That's what I'm always talking about. It's like little tiny actions that keep moving you forward. So you've got to be taking action. But if you're just taking a lot of action and there's not the meaning behind it, you haven't got intention behind it, then you will find that all those actions actually don't mean much. You'll probably get some results, but you're not going to get the great results that you're really looking for. So in this mini training, what I wanted to share with you are my top 3 ways of really raising my vibe and really getting into the headspace. So when I'm kind of feeling down, if I'm feeling negative, you know what, nothing happens, nothing changes, because that's the level of frequency that you're still emitting at. Whereas what you want to do, you want to raise your vibe. One of my favorite ways, now this isn't as easy as the 3 ways I'm going to show you, but one of my favorite ways is cuddling my baby, because he's so cute and squishy and gorgeous and adorable. So I just kiss him all over, and it just makes me feel so happy. And that is an instant vibration boost. But obviously not, you may not have a baby to kiss and cuddle, and please don't go on doing that to strange babies, because they won't like it. But so that's a great way for me, and just giving my other babies a big cuddle as well. But these 3 ones, you don't need babies for this, okay? So the 3 ways that I'm going to show you and they work. They're brilliant. I love them, and they're very simple. And you just do it. Okay, so number one, this is my favorite. I don't even need to raise my vibe for this, but my favorite is dancing. As you can imagine, having hurt my shoulders and my neck, this is not as easy. But dancing is a fantastic way of raising your vibe because you're moving, you're listening to great music. My favorite at the moment is Justin Timberlake's Can't Stop the Feeling. I love it. And, you know, anything that gets you really just moving and feel good. Like, you know, when you listen to lyrics and they just make you feel so good. It's like the M People song, you know, like, you know, Search for a Hero and what other ones are there? Like, you know, Don't Stop Believing. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing anymore. As my husband would say, I have a voice of an angel. Other ones are, Happy, Pharrell. That was a great one. That was a brilliant one. There's so many that just make you feel really, really good. And so literally before you start working, you know, stick it on YouTube or your Spotify or whatever and just rock out to it because I promise you it will make you feel so good. And then when you sit down and you do the email or you make a phone call, you'll feel really, really good. The second way is by using EFT, emotional freedom techniques. I have mentioned this before, and if you haven't checked it out, do check it out. You know, there's some fantastic videos on YouTube. Brad Yates and Margaret Lynch are the two that I listen to a lot. And there are loads and loads of other people, and there's tons of tapping practitioners around, and you might want to find somebody who is local to you, because, you know, they'll be able to really help you get into the space. But tapping is brilliant because what you're doing is you're tapping on meridian points, you know, on your head, here and here and here and here. And what you're doing is you're tapping through meridian points. So when you are feeling a particular fear, if you're feeling anxious about a bill, if you're feeling anxious about a sales call perhaps, then I like to do tapping. And it'll be things, it might be, say for example, if it's a sales call and you're thinking, oh God, I'm really, really nervous before this sales call. I really want to make X amount of money and I'm really hoping that this client will sign on. Now, here's the first thing. Your client is not the source of your abundance, okay? The divine is the source of your abundance. The client may potentially be one avenue for you. So don't get hung up on the fact that this client has to be the one that brings the money to you. So that's just a little tip for you because that's what makes you kind of go, ugh. And honestly, that is what's causing the anxiety. It's the sense of attachment that you have to that particular client, and they've got to say yes. And it's that desperate energy that comes out, and that's not attractive at all. So you want to stay open. But if you have a sales call coming up and you're thinking, I am feeling a bit antsy about this, I'm not, you know, a bit nervy and all the rest of it, you just start tapping and you say things like, even though I'm anxious about this sales call, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I am feeling anxious about this sales call, will they say yes? Will they say no? You know, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And then you go through the tapping. And like I say, go onto YouTube because I'm not a practitioner. I'm not an expert. This is just, I follow other people. But what happens is you're saying what is going on for you. Because I think sometimes we want to push these feelings away. No, I'm not feeling nervous. I'm not feeling anxious. No. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm powerful. Oh, I'm going to do my power pose and all that kind of stuff. And the problem is, though, then you're kind of pushing them down. Whereas what tapping helps you to do is to take their charge away, if you like. If you're watching this and live and, you know, you've got comments, or even if you're watching the replay, if you've got comments, please pop them in the comments box. I'd love to hear from you. Like, have you done tapping? I know my sister, you know, tried it and it didn't really suit her. I love it. I swear by it. But, you know, let me know what you think. And so, you know, what happens with tapping is as you tap through the meridian points and you talk about how much you honor and love and accept yourself, that reduces the charge of that negative emotion, because it can feel really, really like if you've got a credit card bill and you're thinking, I don't know how I'm going to pay this credit card bill. Even though I have a big credit card bill, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this credit card bill, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And so you know, whether it's, you know, even if I've got that annoying person who's about to call me, or I've got that networking event to go to, you know, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And what happens is you start to raise your vibration because you've reduced that energy charge there. And the thing is with when I created the Tiny Time Big Results philosophy around purpose, profits, productivity, and play, in play, I talk a lot about self-care. And, you know, for me, it was kind of like quite a superficial level until I really realized the impact that self-care has on you and how you show up in the world. And what is absolutely essential in self-care is self-love, self-acceptance. Because what I found was there was a time in my business when the income just dried up. And I realized that I had completely stopped loving myself. I'd stopped valuing myself. I'd stopped valuing what I could do for other people. And that made my income completely dry up. And I could not understand why. And so for me, it's been very much that journey around accepting myself, accepting my fears, accepting my anxieties, accepting, you know, what maybe is not going as well as I'd like it to right now, but understanding that I still love myself. You know, one of my coaches said to me, you are not your business. You are not your business. So even if things aren't going, hi Gina, how are you, lovely? You know, even if things aren't going well for you right now in your business, you are still a lovable person. You are still worthy. So tapping is really great for that, because as you're sharing those experiences of like, I'm worried about this sales call, I'm worried that they will say no, then, you know, you're saying I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So you're not kind of flooding your body with shame or fear or blame or any of those negative charges. What you're doing is you're saying, you know, yes, I feel nervous. Yes, I feel anxious. Yes, I feel worried. But I still love myself. And so that's my number 2 tip. I know that went a bit longer. You probably said, again, this is a mini training, Yasmin. So that was first one, dancing, EFT, emotional freedom techniques, or just tapping. Well, that's what it's called. And then the third one that I wanted to share with you today is visualization. And visualization is a brilliant way to raise your vibe. I'm not talking about like for hours and hours and on end, you know, visualizing or constantly visualizing what it is that you want. What I'm talking about is like a short, sharp hit of like when you sit down, like, and I use the Natalie McNeil Conquer Planner. So when I sit down, I think, what do I want this week to be about? You know, what do I want to, how do I want to show up? How do I want to serve? You know, how do I want to add value to the world? You know, and I think that's a really good question to ask. You kind of like, it's a bit like in A Course in Miracles. You know, it says, you know, in the morning, you know, if you don't know what to do, it's of, you know, where would you have me say what you have to do? It's a beautiful prayer, and I think it's a really powerful prayer. Because if you're not sure what to do, you just say, well, God, where do you want me to go? Oh. Battery's going. So when you're visualizing, you know, again, Abraham Hicks, they always talk about the fact that you should always focus on what you want to create, as in the reality that you want is happening right now, not actually what is happening right now. So if you are sitting there thinking, God, I really, really want 3 new clients this week, and you're sitting there thinking, I've only got 2, I haven't got none, I've got none rather. And then you're saying, I love the 3 new clients that I've signed up this week. Oh my God, they are amazing. They are so switched on. They really know what they want to do, you know, etc. You kind of create your own script around that. But what you're doing is you're imagining what it would be, what it is like to have those 3 new clients. And you know, just take a few minutes, just literally take a few minutes straight after dancing, you know, get into that space of thinking, I love the 3 new clients that I just signed this week, and I'm so excited that it was so easy, and script how you want it to be, and then let it go. Let it go. Do the things that you need to do, you know. So for me, it's like, I set my intentions and I go about doing what I'm doing, follow-ups, you know, trainings, adding value, and let it go. Have that sense of detachment so that you are, you know, not getting all like, ooh, that client still hasn't arrived. You know, it's like, don't start taking score as soon as you've put it out there. You know, let the universe unfold. And so they're my top 3 ways of raising my vibe, and, you know, getting myself out there and allowing the universe to co-create with me. So honestly, what I'm sharing with you, this is stuff that I do on a regular basis, and sometimes I forget, and then I always feel it that when I forget to do it. So, you know, it's something that I kind of constantly be thinking about, like, you know, it's a daily habit. It's something that it's a daily Oh, I've gone pixelated. Oh, I'm back. This thing that raising your vibe, never mind the business, but for your life, for your relationships, for your health, for your well-being, for your, just having a great quality of life. Honestly, think about it the way you want it to be, and then just imagine that it is like that already. And I'm telling you, you'll see stuff happening, and then you'll think, oh my God, where did this come from? So, any questions before we kind of wrap up? Because I have no idea how long I've talked for. Look at me, I can't even turn around. Oh, that was 20 minutes. Or maybe a little bit less than 20 minutes. Do you have any questions? Let me see. I don't see any questions coming up. If you have any questions, then by all means, please do, pop them below, or you can message me. Don't forget to pop over to my site, yasminvorgy.com, and you can grab my 50 ways to love to leverage. 50 ways to grow your business and leverage your time. That's my free guide there. And if you're interested in working with me, then go over to the website, and there's a page up at the top where it says there's like a menu, work with me, and then you can see options at a glance. And that just gives you an idea as to how you and I could work together. Because if you are interested in learning about how you can get big results with your tiny time, you want to stop trading time for money and really leverage your time, then book a call and let's have a chat about what that could look like for you. I have a number of different options. So if you check out that page, options at a glance, it'll show you the different ways that we can work together. So if that's of interest, then please do that. Hello to everyone watching. Look at me, I'm all stiff today and I can't really move. So I want to do my dancing now as well. I'm not going to do a live dance break. Oh, Yasmin, what are your top tips for doing FB Lives? One of the things I'll be starting this week. Oh, Gina, great question. So my top tips, right, is make sure you have a topic. Make sure you have some kind of a structure in your head. You may have watched some of mine and I kind of tend to go off on a ramble, but I do have a structure in my head. So like today was my top 3 tips. So make sure you have a topic, have a basic structure. Let people know that you're going to go live at a certain time. Sometimes I do that and sometimes I'm really bad. Like I feel like I'm divinely inspired and I feel like I must do a Facebook Live, but try and let people know that you're going to be going live. Seek engagement, so like that's when I say, like pop your questions and comments below. What I do then as well is once this video is finished, I will then download it and I'll upload it to my YouTube channel so that my YouTube channel is getting populated with more videos. So I'm repurposing the content. And I would just say is commit to doing them and start doing them, because I think it's a brilliant way of, kind of really engaging with the people that you are here to serve, that, that might be interested in what you're doing. And one of the things I love about Facebook Lives, and this is very different to filming just videos, is that Facebook Lives, anything could happen. Thank you, Vanessa. Anything could happen. The other week I was doing a Facebook Live training for a particular group that I'm in. And my son came in and I'd said to the kids, because they were all downstairs and they were like watching telly, and my son came in and he said to me, I found a bone in my fish finger. And I just went, but you're live. And so there's nothing you can do about that. So I just kind of went, okay, that was lucky. It was a tiny, tiny little bone. I was like, what's a bone doing in a fish finger? But anyway, so with Facebook Lives, you kind of just have to roll with it. So don't get like kind of freaked out if stuff happens, like if the doorbell goes and you're like thinking crap. But these things happen. But commit and start doing them. And don't worry if your first one you feel like, oh my God, I just made a hash of that. I've done that too. And what I've done is I've stopped the live and then deleted it. That's an option for you too as well. But honestly, the more you do, the easier it becomes. And like that, I can talk, so I'll stop talking now. Gina says, such great tips. Thank you. You're welcome, lovely. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Little man is asleep right now, so that's good. So I can get a few things done before picking up little miss at 12 o'clock. Am I filming in portrait or landscape? I am filming in portrait right now. Portrait. I think sometimes, I don't know, that I know that people have done lives and they've done them landscape, and then we're all doing this. So as far as I know, when I do my lives in portrait, you actually, it does come up properly on YouTube. You're not having to, and I can't bend my neck, but you know, you do have to bend. I'm really, really sore. I hope Bernie gives me a call today to do something. I don't know what I've done with it. Do you know, yesterday I was bending down and I just raised my arms to stretch, and then I heard something click and I was just went, ah! So I'm in a bit of pain today. So hopefully. And because I'm breastfeeding, I'm kind of loath to, my husband slapped deep heat on me yesterday and I was like, oh my God, is this safe for me? But anyway, so listen, you don't need to know all about that. All right, lovelies. If you have any other questions, Gina, then please just let me know. And for the rest of you, if you're watching, I apologise for talking about deep heat and backache and all the rest of it. Top 3 tips again: dancing, emotional freedom techniques, tapping, and visualization. Go forth and raise your vibe. And I hope you have an awesome day. You're welcome, Gina. Thank you. Bye.